Computer. All righty. Good evening, everybody. This is evening, actually. So the Team Massive Success meeting has moved now just temporarily, just this week, to 8 p.m. Eastern time, but it's a tough time slot because we're going up against Joel Tyrion and the GBU Got Backup weekly big webinar, which we're kind of a part of. Team Massive Success, obviously a part of Got Backup. And my name is Rob Gearing, not Joel Tyrion. I'm the owner of the TL2I Cash Mailer, leader of Team Massive Success, and your host with the most. Host with the most. It's hard to say. I'm your host with the most tonight, coming to you live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to talk about TL2I Cash Mailer, to talk about Team Massive Success, to talk about being a spill creator versus a spillover waiter, right? So we talked about, it's like a restaurant here. Talked about host and hosts, hostesses, waiters, right? Where's the where's the appetizers? Are they coming next? It's just a crazy situation over here. But you're looking at my screen right now, and you are seeing the first page, step one that we call it in the TL2I Cash Mailer. Step one in our marketing system, step one of the massive marketing success system. And I'm going to get right to the action here. I'm going to do a backdrop of the downline builder, because when you click downline builder here, you go to what's called our income streams. Now, traffic leads to income itself is an income stream. It pays commissions. It pays robust commissions. Our marketing system has various then other points of entry, from Wow app, as you see as your first entree in our restaurant theme tonight, going down to the crypto team build, Got Backup, Great Life Worldwide, and Genesis Lifestyle Network. Now, this is what I see in my downline builder. Why? Because I'm the owner of the program. So these are my recommendations. Many people follow my recommendations. Some people hide some of the recommendations, and it's totally good. There's very few things that are required here. One of them is Wow app, because it's integrated into our instructions. So that's something that I want to point out, that this is a customizable system, but with very few things that are forced on you, other than, if you're following the system, you've got to leave the system components in. We can't have a car and block the engine and the transmission. That wouldn't make any sense. So Wow app is part of like our steering, it's our suspension, it's an important component of the list building and income car that we have here in the traffic leads to income world. So Wow app isn't a matrix, so we're not going to talk about that, because spillover is a matrix term. So when we talk about being a spillover creator, what we're talking really about is being able to personally sponsor people who you can place. And, not every program that you see in the downline builder and things that you're involved in are a matrix. And that's the other thing. You may be involved in a matrix program that you've added. And that's one of the nice things about what we do here. We give you the capability as well to not just hide things, but to also add things as I scroll up and down here. So the things we're highlighting tonight that are matrix programs, where spillover is a theme, is Crypto Team Build. Has multiple matrices. I think it has at least 10, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe 11 different separate matrices. And it has a little more of a crypto theme. So that kind of falls a little bit more in our cryptocurrency category. Got Backup is I'm not going to call it a traditional matrix. It is a interesting one because it has a holding tank. And I'm going to talk about what a holding tank is in a second. A holding tank is where you bring in a personal referral and have the control of their placement. That's a good feature. There are programs out there, I can think of a couple, that don't have a holding tank. So people go to the next available spot, whatever that is, and that may not be where you want to build. Got Backup gives you that capability. And the other thing that it does, again, is it gives you control. So we like that. I think that's a good feature. That's being a hands-on leader. You should be understanding your organization. You should be understanding where you're building. You should see what's going on and have a nice view and be able to make decisions, because what may be a good thing today may not be what you want to do tomorrow. And again, it's all about, the hands-on thing. I'm not a super fan of all things artificial intelligence wise. I like hands-on things, like things that are automated, automatic, have their place. It just, for me, sometimes I'm scratching my head of figuring out where I want that automation to be, right? But certainly not in the placement of my team. And my wife had a doctor's appointment today, and I went with her because she has to go undergo some knee surgery. And we brought up about robotic surgery, and the surgeon is a 25-year veteran, somebody that my wife has gone to for many, many years because she's had a degenerative condition in her knees. And he laughed and he says, "You know what? You need a human being with two of these hands that does 500 of these surgeries a year, not a robot, not a robot." And that led me I'm always like things click in my mind, and I think, oh, it's kind of like this whole AI thing right now. Let your whole business run by some chatbot, by some automated situation. And it falls kind of in this holding tank conversation versus automatic placement. You want as many touch points as you can in your business with people, with your team, with your decisions. But there is a place for automation. There is a place, I'm sure, for AI in the online world. I don't think the online people have figured it out. I don't think the world has figured it out, but in time it will come. And Team Massive Success will be right there, like we always are. So, and Got Back Up also features an unlimited levels. So it goes down to where that doesn't end actually. So a lot of, it's a 2 wide. So which means you start with your left and your right. And then from that position has a left and a right. And then that one to the right has a left and a right. And then it starts branching out. So if you're familiar with mathematics, we start with U as 1, 2, 4, 16, 32. It's a doubling effect is what it is. And then they have a binary system on top of that that figures out compensation. Like I say, there's a lot of different plans. I don't mean to make this a dummies or beginners or anybody's version of different matrix compensation plans, but I just want to give a few pointers and give a few points as things kind of pop up in my head. So that's the Got Back Up kind of thought process. And again, spillover happens when somebody that you're not necessarily involved in, it's not your personal referral. Somebody up above has brought in a personal referral and placed them somewhere in your hierarchy, somewhere in your matrix, in your structure. And what's nice too is that when we talk about when people get placed in these things, in these matrices, multiple people are affected. So of course, the person who has the personal referral probably gets a fast start bonus if that's part of the compensation plan. But then there's the people that are wherever the placement happens, everybody from that point up has that person as well in some way, shape, or form as part of their as spillover as part of their compensation. So that's interesting. It's an interesting team exercise. This is part of kind of the network marketing, multi-level marketing model. It's a team sport. It's not just an individual pounding out sale after sale after sale on their own merits. There's help available from different points of the organization, whether it be low, high, or yourself, right? What's up above, what's down below, and what you create and what you do. The next program that carries a matrix structure is our new entry into the downline builder at the TL2I cash mailer here, Great Life Worldwide. It is a 2x16 matrix plan. And the other thing that we talk about in matrices is some compress and some don't, meaning non-payers are skipped over. So compression means you're only looking at the people who actually are active subscribers, have an active payment. And that's important because if you're factoring in levels or people that are free or canceled, suspended, inactive, whichever word you want to use, that could affect if you're in a 16 deep matrix like Great Life Worldwide. You want to make sure that the maximum amount of people you're getting credit for, right? And that's the payers. You want to get credit for the payers and not be penalized by the non-payers. So Great Life Worldwide has that feature in addition to the holding tank, but doesn't run a binary system. And a binary system, I'm still not going to get into that. It's a little convoluted or complicated. It's got a little mathematical formula, but it doesn't have that. So it makes it pretty easy. There's a defined payout per each paid position. When that compression is done and all the paid members are analyzed in your structure, 16 two levels two wide and 16 levels deep, your total payout is computed. The payout figure times the number of paid people that are in your structure and equals what you end up getting paid. But what's powerful here is it's not just your efforts, it's the efforts of all the people. It's the reason why matrix plans are appealing in the industry. And our program at the end here, Genesis Lifestyle Network, does not offer a matrix. So we're really, in our conversation here, we're looking at three that have sort of the different configurations as we discussed for their matrices, which I think is the correct word. So just a little bit of specifics as to what we kind of where we kind of hang our hat here. And you may have some other things you've added to the downline builder, or you may know of some other things. But the general conversation here that we're going to talk about is, what's a spillover creator? It's real simple. It's somebody, again, who goes out there and works, who sets up their lead capture page, builds their list, right? Brings people into the program, whether as a tour taker or a pre-enrollee or whatever the verbiage is, and then follows up with that person personally as a coach and as a leader to get them to upgrade. And then, they either fall into, the first available slot in the automated systems, or they are in a holding tank and placed. And there you go. Then your strategy kicks in. And this isn't a strategy meeting either. I will give you one tip, though. One of the most powerful things is always to build at the bottom of your organization. And that way you have multiple people that are seeing activity, right? They're seeing activity. It's flowing upwards. And that gets people who are inactive, or maybe they haven't really dug in and looked at what's available in the given program, and it can create just motivation and action, which then begins that snowball effect of things brewing and bubbling in your business. So that's just a little tip there. There's different strategies, and there's no right or wrong, but I figured I'd give you one person's thought as to something that can be effective. So the spillover creators, the person it's always building. The spillover waiter is a person who joins a program and falls into the trap of the what if. Okay, it's like buying a lottery ticket at the lottery store, right? I buy my lottery ticket and I hope that I win the $1 million, right? I buy into the program and I hope that my sponsor, not me, my sponsor, who I'm not following any of their teachings, I'm not following any of their chat stuff, I'm not looking at their blog or their newsletter or going to their webinars. I just joined and I'm going to sit with my arms out open and hope that my sponsor drops somebody down in my left or right or both. And those people are, I'm going to try to think of two people that would all love to have in our left and our right. Joel Terrian on my left, right? And Greg Gunderson, the owner of Joel, the owner of Got Backup, on my left, and Greg Gunderson, the owner of Great Life, on my right. Okay, just hypothetical, but these are extremely powerful men and powerful people in the industry, and obviously would be great to have if that was a realistic situation. But we're just kind of having fun here. But that's what the spillover waiter does, so that they will get. And if it happens, yes, if Joel brings in 2,000 people and Greg brings in 2,000 people, then I have 2,000 on my left, 2,000 on my right. They're all paid. We either do a binary calculation, we either do a compression, and then a little bit of math about what each one of these people are worth to me as part of my matrix. Shared, obviously, a matrix is shared by many people. So the payout becomes big when the matrix gets big, but it's all about the people that are contained, within this setup here. And will that happen? Odds are probably not good. I want to be honest with you. What I like to say is spillover is a gift, something that's appreciated, to be valued, but not counted on. Go back to the person who gave you that spillover and say, what do you do every day where you can get a personal referral, where you're earning a fast start commission? Okay. The personal, trust me, the compensation is heavy for the person who refers the person, not the person receiving spillover. There's small fractions that can add up big, right? Um, get back to that person. Go back to that spillover creator and say, what did you do? They're going to say they're going to say something like this. Yeah, I did a nice post on Facebook, a little tease. My followers, requested information. I, had a nice conversation with them, not overly salesy, just stating facts. And there we go. That's how I got that one. How'd you get the next one? Well, on that one, that was a mail to my list. What do you mean list? You mean the people that joined the program? No, not the people that joined the program. My list that I've been building for years. If you're a marketer without a list, then you haven't been paying attention, right? So, I was paying attention I was paying attention in my group. I saw my upline share a great email. I shot it out, and there it is. That's why I have somebody in my holding tank that I was able to place in your organization. Well, what else do you do? Well, let's see what else I do. I have my lead capture page set up. I don't rely on the company page. I may use it as a thank you bridge page, but I'm using my own lead capture page, building my list. What we talked about, how I brought in person too. Um, and I also, I advertise. I do the free traffic that my sponsor tells me about in the viral mailers and the traffic exchanges. I get a couple of leads and a couple of signups, but heard about top tier T1 paid traffic like they have at the TL2I paid traffic co-op that Rob's been running. Now I'm going to get specific, make myself inserted in this. Like has had for the last 4 or 5 years, right? And I've just heard great things from people like Janet Legier, for example, or Jared Myers, or name the person who has had great results from the co-op. And yeah, geez, he shows me great lead caps that give me on 100 clicks. I get 35, 40 leads. I don't have to go buy leads, right? Oh my God, I buy leads and I get no response. They're old. They're dated. They've been hit 1,000 times. This is real time, opted in, like fresh. It's a fresh lead. I created it based on my setup that I was shown. And then this person's sitting there saying, my God, what have I done? I'm just sitting here like a lump and I do nothing. I took notes. Tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm going to learn how to be better on social media. He also mentioned about YouTube. He shoots YouTube videos and people comment, and that's an engagement tool. And maybe I'll start a little team once I start getting a few people, and I'll maybe have some meetings, and I'll do Zoom one-on-one orientations, meet and greets, talk information sessions, and then those lead into, obviously, the person comes aboard and becomes onboarding sessions. So this isn't just, sit and wait. And many of you probably listening and saying, I do A and B, but I don't do C. I don't think there's many of you probably in this audience or listening. I would say it's pretty rare. I don't think there's that many people out there, but there are some. There may be one that really resonates. Like you're like, oh, I just, I feel like I just been in the ring with, Mike Tyson in his prime. This is, I'm stinging all over. This is, but it should be a learning for all of us. Are we doing all the things necessary? So the person goes back to this spillover creator and says, well, do you follow up with people? I hear that it's kind of dumb to call people and send text messages. They feel that's intrusive. Well, look at my income. That's not that's not intrusive, right? That's very pleasurable. You want to do things that are going to be effective and are going to create results. And why we would think a text message or a phone call would be intrusive on somebody who's a hot opt-in, who they requested you literally to get with them so you can show them how to earn online, and now we get cold feet. I think that people that I've coached that have then tried it said, "Oh my God, I was so nervous and worried, and it was beautiful. It was one of the most transforming experiences that I've had." I mean, literally, that's a pretty big statement. Transforming experience. So the spillover waiter hears from the spillover creator, shoot a little text message, right? Um, Turn it into a phone call or a little Zoom meeting. And they're just taking notes and they do these things and they're becoming the spillover creator, not the spillover waiter. But like I said, I may have laid out 6 or 7 different hot things to do. The final thing would be recruiting. That spillover creator probably has a nice, list of, peers in, say, a Facebook or a Wow app or a Twitter, and has conversations. It's called recruiting. It's I can look at somebody from afar, friend them, learn about them, have non-salesy conversations, exchange ideas and information, and all of a sudden, um, they start seeing me differently. There becomes a respect, and they're then open enough to say, "Hey, maybe your mousetrap is better than my mousetrap," or maybe I even say, "I like your mousetrap," or maybe we like everything about each other, and we're going to do a mutual kind of helping each other out. But you got to be in the game every day. So 7, 8 different points we've laid out. Maybe you're doing none, and you're a spillover waiter completely, but you're spending money. So I give you credit. You're putting funds on the table. There has to be money exchanging somewhere, exchanging hands in any business in order for people to get paid. It's not a sin or crime to pay for something, whether it be in offline or online world, right? But if you're only doing 2 of the 7 or 8, then work on those other ones. You can't work on everything at one time. But hopefully you took some notes, and you may play this video a few times. And I tried to think of all the different things that I do on a daily basis. And you know, I, I've had some pretty good results. For example, in Great Life Worldwide, I think I put in my 31st personal distributor, and the program's only been around for a month. 31 personals. So I've helped a lot of people with spillover, and I love it. I think it's great. But my mission statement now is to train these spillover receivers. They're not waiters; they've received, that are the folks that are clued into the training, so that they have the tools to do this, just to do the same thing. You know, that's really the goal. So it's not really that gratifying for me. I know what I'm doing, I know how to do it, but can I teach and show others? That's really my game, and my passion right now is to create duplication, because I wake up some days thinking this is really easy. Um, how can I best explain it so that people see that vision of all the different things that need to be done? So it may take a little time for you to hit all the points discussed tonight, whatever that number was. I wasn't really keeping track. But be open-minded. Don't say anything ever negative, like, I hate talking, I hate people. I hate talking to people. I don't like lead capture pages. I don't know how to build a list. It's too technical. All these are just negative things you're putting out into the universe. And a lot of it is saying that you don't feel confident in your skills. You don't believe, you don't, yes, we'll get to you in a minute, Adam, once we finish the presentation and we do a Q&A with the live group here. So I appreciate that, Adam. All right. And I'm wrapping up here. We're about the half-hour point. But you want to feel confident in yourself. And if you don't, then do what is necessary so you don't have to say that anymore. So that's the one thing with marketers. I think you want to do videos. Don't say, I can't do videos. I look ugly on video. Whatever. It just becomes very frustrating when I hear it, because it's a shame that people are selling themselves short. So they're not necessarily even spillover waiters. They're people I think that just need a little shot of confidence, a little shot in the arm. But like I said, there are the true spillover waiters who hopefully they get the idea and start asking questions to their upline leaders about what, again, the way I became successful in this industry is one day I woke up and I said to my upline, show me exactly what you do, and I will do whatever it takes, no matter what the cost is, no matter what the sacrifice is, no matter what, I will do it. I will use Aweber, and I did. I will spend, as much as I can on traffic, and I did. I will follow your your exact follow-ups that you do. And I did. And that was the breakthrough moment. That was the breakthrough moment. All righty. So be a spillover creator, plug into our system, TL2i Cash Mailer. If you're not a member, get back to the person who invited you and join. Take advantage of our 7 steps to your success. That's how you'll learn literally how to be a spill creator versus a spill waiter in our programs that we recommend and whatever else that you bring to the table. So I thank you very much for your time and attention. Again, this is Rob Gearing signing off, and we will see you next week. To my live audience, hang around for Q&A. Thank you very much. To your massive success.